A bag of cats! Ow!
Meow.
I actually do think you should watch New Girl, by the way. Like,
Oh,
so they kind of... They do it...
My Netflix is on hiatus at the moment, so it's going to be a minute.
Okay. So, like, they do it a bit easier than, like, Sunny does it, but they definitely go along that kind of sociopath...
Really?
That sociopath path. Where it's just like, these people are so kind of set outside of society and in their own bubble. But the fourth season is such an awesome culmination.
Really?
You don't see it coming. And it's not even the end. And it's just, it hit on, the feels. The feels it hits on. I think you would love it right now. And I think you should get into New Girl when you can.
Yeah, I gotta, I'm almost done with I think I gotta watch season 7 of The League yet. I'm just about done with season 6, and oh my god. I think season 6 might be the best.
Season 7,
So
I did not realize on the first watch, like, how self-aware they were.
Mm-hmm.
They hit on so many things that it's just like, I didn't... without that full watch, you won't notice.
Right.
So good. So good.
Yeah, and then after that, one of the shows I've been watching, it's, what's it called? Justified. Fuck,
Justified is really good, but let me do an intro before we actually get too deep into this bag of cats. Welcome back to the topic of episode 14. I'm Scott, and that one's Mark here on Great Scott Marcus, a show on Ramble Entertainment where we just have rambling conversations. And typically, what we would do is have two halves where we ramble about mostly specific topics, and then have a major topic that we mostly focus on. But today, or actually this week and in our past 4 weeks, we don't really have anything we want to focus on entirely. So we're going to call this our bag of cats, where we just ramble over anything. In fact, I wrote a couple down.
Yeah,
I don't know where
we've been gone
is.
for, about 4 weeks or so, so it's just like, usually when we talk over chat, when we're gaming, these conversations kind of flow from one thing to another, so that's kind of, we're going to kind of bring into here. We're not going to...
We just kind of vomit something out, and then the other person
absolutely.
Sucks that up, and then they vomit that out
just like
again.
Now, we're talking about, like, New Girl, and It's Always Sunny in The League, and this other fucking show, I don't remember what it's called off the top of my
Justified?
head. Rectify?
Oh,
Rectify.
Is there a new season out?
New season just dropped, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I want to look that up, but it's gonna ruin the quality of the Skype.
It's fine.
Season 4.
3.
Okay, so all right. Spoilers. In the second, when the second season ends, they're waiting to see what the ruling is from the judge.
I don't remember. I need to watch. Like, I feel like it's every fucking 2 years they come out with another season because it's just so long.
Well, the seasons are short, but ultra detailed.
I think this was only 6 episodes too, just like season 1. Season 2 is 10. I looked that up this morning.
Okay, so all right. Putting that aside, no more spoilers on that.
That needs to be watched. I need to rewatch though, just to kind of get.
I
back
didn't
into,
know. I love that show. Holy
I don't remember
crap.
when it dropped, but I gotta watch that.
So much character.
So good. But yeah, my Netflix is on hiatus. I had to cancel
We're
my bank card.
We're rambling. Feel free to talk over each other.
Yeah, exactly. So I gotta wait till this week until I get my next bank card to get my Netflix back online.
Because of those fucking things they put in them.
No, actually, it's I had this old account and it was taking $4 out of my checking account monthly, and I was just like, I don't. Basically, it was for like a point system, and cool if you use it. I haven't used it in about 8 months since I've had an Amex card and my Chase Amazon card. Like my bank card sits in my wallet, and I was just like, I should take care of that. And great enough, I went to Fifth Third. Told the guy this. He's like, all right, we'll see if we can get those charges back. He took the last 7 months off. So it was just like, I got those charges back in my account for the past 7 months. And he's like, got to cancel this card. No, get a new one in the mail in 5 to 7 days. I'm like,
I used a point system for the first time ever. This will start segueing us back into our last 4 weeks. In the last 4 weeks, I used Sony point system, Sony rewards. I don't have a card, but I used PlayStation Store so much that I signed up for points, and I've never used it, and I always get these reminders, and I was like, well, let's see how many points we have. I was planning on making a purchase, and I was like, maybe I can get a PlayStation card, and that's exactly what I did. I got $20 in PS Store points. But, like, yeah, there's, like, awesome headphones, and, like, if you really save up, you can get a TV and shit like that. But, yeah, like, typically I'm just like, what am I going to get, a bag? But, yeah,
a bag of cats, maybe.
A bag of cats. That'd actually be pretty cool. We're going to send you this bag of cats. Hopefully one or two of them will make it.
I hope they're just kittens, man. That'd be cool. Like, kittens rule. They're so cute.
And yeah, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, let's go ahead and kick this off proper. Mark, how have you been since our last conversation that we recorded?
Status quo. I've been
total brick line.
I know. I love it. Oh, I need to watch that again.
I need to say that more often.
I know.
Although my status quo, my status quo just doesn't exist.
No, it's been all right. Job's been a job. I did the dating thing. Now I'm done with it. Like I'm like fuck it. I don't care anymore. As we talked about 2 weeks ago or so.
We might touch on that in here. Yeah.
Started working out a little bit more. If you see right over my shoulder here, I've got a little exercise chin-up bar. Got that for my birthday.
I would have told you to be less tacky and take that down before recording.
When I saw it, like when I sat down here, I was like, I probably should have taken it down. I'll probably take it down next time.
There you go.
Actually, I got on my spin bike today, so I've been trying to keep up on that, and I started meditating. Yeah,
I've been doing some of my yoga stretches, so I understand how that goes. Or not yoga, Tai Chi, because there are some Tai Chi exercises that I learned from my short stint in a pain management program that have helped me to manage my pain.
Sure.
And I guess it's my turn. Pain's been really up with this heat wave that's kind of sweeping over the U.S., and that sucks.
Yeah.
I was concerned that I might have to return to physical therapy because of it, that it's that bad. But yesterday, there was a 15-degree drop compared to the last 2 weeks.
Where it's been like 90s, 95. Yep. Yeah, it's been brutal.
98 on a couple of the days, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, yesterday was wonderful. Today sucks, and the temperature isn't as bad. But tomorrow it's going back up into the 90s. And also, I worked out last night without doing stretches. Typically, you'd hear that, and you'd be like, "Why do you need to stretch?" For most people, but
don't stretch, but I probably should.
For someone who's in pain constantly, I need to do these stretches almost daily. It is what it is. I did, so let's go ahead and segue into the kind of the state of the channel thing that we've kind of done a few times recently, but now I think everything is kind of in focus.
Yeah.
Except I do need to sit down and talk to Reed. I was supposed to post all of our remaining episodes for what I was behind on, Great Scott Marcus and 0 frames per second, and then that would kind of be the reset where we come back in and I start doing Stay of the Frame again, and it'd be good, except 0 frames per second has been the show that has been the obstacle, the one that is hard to edit, where audio desyncs from video, and it just keeps doing it, and it's so hard to control. I've tried techniques in software, I've tried techniques in our recording to eliminate it, and I need to talk to Reed about this, and he did just get a new job, so it's possible he will be in complete agreement to this. But I might just be dropping that show, or I might just be... Reed might just not be able to record with me until we get a better methodology or something closer to our setup. I don't know why our setup works better, but it does compared to his.
Does ours even unsync? Is that a word? Desync?
It might have once or twice.
Well, most of the time we're in sync.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because it ain't no lie, but I couldn't help it.
I'm gonna kill
you. You did this to us.
I kind of did.
And it's very unfortunate because I think 0 frames per second hones in on something. This is gaming, and people just go looking for that, and that attracts viewers. And I'm not gonna lie, I want people to see our shit, which is why we put it on YouTube. But
there's a reason for our madness.
Yeah, I might solo the show when I have opinions about things that I want to share. Just kind of put out thoughtful critique on situations. But I think the nature of this is that 0 frames per second holds the channel back because of its editing. Its editing wouldn't be a problem if it was just single source, or if the source was you and me or something close to you and me.
Sure.
So I will talk to him directly about that. He doesn't watch Zero GSM, and even if he did, I'll probably talk to him before I post the first half of this topic.
Sure.
Other than that, I think we touched on this in the Ramble. I'm happy to see you, dude. We've played some games together, but I felt this lacking in my life. I felt GSM lacking in my life. And I'm really...
So there's a void within you that only I could fill.
It's right here.
Oh, okay.
In this hole that you drilled into my chest about 3 years back. And you never told me why. And I just blacked out.
You're Iron Man, that's why.
Oh!
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Why don't I have glowing?
Silly.
Silly. Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
No wonder it's so fun. And it has that odor, too.
Did you lay it down on a newspaper and it just took off all the print? Oh, weird.
And I'm very excited for Save the Frame for multiple reasons. Save the Frame was more of a design endeavor where I got to sync up this awesome music that I cut from a free for use, non-copyrighted, what's that called? Fair use musician on YouTube, TechnoX, and in fact in those first 2 episodes I didn't say that I used his music, so I need to go back and edit those, and in future episodes I need to put that I used his music.
Can you just put a little text in the bottom, possibly?
That's the plan. And I might put at the end a credits screen.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that would also be a bit less obtuse, where it's just I use this guy's music, whatever.
Yeah.
I recently did a quite a large endeavor for a fan concept for Warframe. A lot of fan concepts are just, I have an idea, I'm just gonna post it.
Mm-hmm.
I spent about 2 weeks and 3 days every day editing and working on this thing. And in fact, I meant to actually pull up some artwork for this thing, and I might do that in topic 2. And I took shots from in-game and actually edited in assets that actually look like... I'll show you these in the next half of the topic. Edited in assets that actually look like they were in-game. Mm-hmm. It's a bit divisive on forums, but there's another half to that I'll get to after this, unless you feel like saying something within your portion of this bag of cats. But it was so fucking fulfilling to flush out this idea and be so in depth with this idea of balance within a game and systems, mm-hmm. and systems that would actually apply to this game, because I'm not a game designer, but I have spent enough time with games to feel confident in my statement that I do understand how game systems work, their limitations, and what they are capable of doing.
Sure.
And so, yeah, so fulfilling to do this thing.
I think we talked about that, I don't know, a week or so ago, and you were texting back and forth. As we're both creatives, and I had designed a logo for Dakota in his What's it called? Basically, something about bugs, like entomology, like studying bugs, and design a logo for him, and yeah, like it's so satisfying to kind of create something and have a positive response on it, or even just like being satisfied with it and having somebody else satisfied with it. It's like, I did this for you, I did this for me too. It's something that I'm proud of, you're proud of, and it's very satisfactory to be able to do something like that as a creative. Unfortunately, not everybody's a creative, so they're probably just like, oh, what the fuck are you talking about?
You keep saying creative.
Creatives, like we're creative minds.
I guess I would. Yeah. It works. It works.
Yeah. And whether you're creating like stuff like this, or fan art, or logos, or music, like it's something that you're still kind of putting yourself into, and it feels good to do it.
Indeed.
The
one problem about, unfortunately, then sharing these concepts with the internet, and this was actually one of the things I wrote down, is just that, like,
there's always assholes.
It's not even assholes. Like, there is unfortunately and I've talked with you about this, and a lot of this is on me. We went into higher education, and I chose to take philosophy as a major. I completed it as a minor because I got sick of it. One of the reasons I got sick of it was because of this internet nature that has influenced people outside of just the internet, where it's just like, well, you can argue someone into the ground if you just keep arguing and don't actually, recognize their counterpoints.
Sure.
And I feel like I have something on my... No, I just have a unshaven mustache. Anyway, so, like, recently it feels like I've been in a few arguments where it's just like people, like someone's just arguing with me for the sake of argument and maintaining their fucking stance, as opposed to like, no, I just posited to you a reasonable counterpoint from my perspective, and you are doing nothing to basically remove that as a counterpoint to your issue. And yet your point is, well, I just can't respect that. Well, too bad.
I think a lot of people, they do just say they argue instead of discuss. They argue to try to get you to change your opinion, which is really hard to do, especially over the internet.
They don't care about actually maintaining the purpose. It's just, no, I just want to win. And that's another. I swear to God, I have something right there on my lip.
Maybe a little bit.
It might be the lighting. Yeah, I know. It's gonna bug the shit out of me though. Anyway, so like I get that is part of a larger issue. A culture of go out there and win. But like, one, if you can't read, then don't even bother commenting. Like if you didn't, I know I wrote a lot. I posted 5,300 some words, and then I still have I still have more that I'm adding, and that like there's going to be more words. Some of it I'm going to condense into pictures, like it'll be word format, but in picture form to make it more aesthetically pleasing. But like. Like, some of these people are just like, so this is for endless missions? Is that your intent? And it's just like, yes! Like, from the first paragraph, that's what it said! And it's just, this is intended for endless missions. Is that what you want out of this system? It's just like, yeah, some of the, at first, some of them I was just like, listen, if you need clarification, I will give you clarification. But instead, it just became an argument, and it's just like, dude, you have, one, completely lost your point, two, completely skewed the data. Like, I put in actual variables to it. And I even, stated multiple times, like, my math is not accurate, it's not meant for balance, these are just kind of best guesses. Yeah. And yet, it's just, and some people still got those best guesses, like, way off, and it's just like, and at some point I just stopped, because I was just like, you're not even, like, clearly you're not even reading, one. Two, you're not even maintaining your own argument. You're just like, well, now I'm on this point, and now I'm on this point, and it's just like,
what?
at least when I argue like an adult, which I learned through fucking philosophy, which most people don't do, and I recognize that, and that's technically on me, but still.
Watch out before you pop a blood vessel.
I know. An aneurysm is all I need at this point. It's just like, I recognize, when something is refuted, or that multiple people are, saying, like, no, or, like, this could be changed, and I'm actually doing that with one of the details, but then there's like, other people who are just like, nah, attack. You recognized something there that might be, like, I might be right on, and yet you refuted, like, this and this and this. Nah, attack, and...
What I like are the ones that bring up hypotheticals and keep referring to that, like, something that hasn't happened and they don't have any kind of precedent. We're like, but that is still a thing. Like, they can't do that, or... I mean, I can give you some context, but it doesn't really fucking matter. Okay, I'll do it anyways.
No. I got your back. Yeah. I'm not gonna mention the person by name, and they do not watch our channel, to my knowledge, and I am sorry if you do. But one of the people I got in an argument with recently, or I mean, like, in my context, an argument is simply a discussion between two people where you are on opposite sides of a point. And yet, the individual was just, it was a hypothetical where it was just like, oh, DE could really screw this up. And guess what? They didn't. They fucking didn't. Like, there are basically systems and games right now that are that have really bad RNG, where it's just like, you just keep getting crap, you keep getting crap. You got really lucky, and here's, like, one of the things you're not looking for, but it's super rare, like... And then you keep getting crap, and this is kind of like the Instagram thing, where that kind of shit's coming out of Activision and, like, other...
it's just chewed up garbage being thrown at you because of
Blizzard and Ubisoft and, like a lot of the big companies who don't have open communication and have, in the past, shown that they do not make rapid changes and improvements, unlike DE. And it's just like... And that was my point. I was just like, well, this is Digital Extremes, and we've seen, like... them rapidly revert things that people didn't like, and I was just like, that kind of invalidates this argument. And
but they still could fuck it up.
That was it. Like, that was it. That it was just like, no, it might still happen, and it's just like, that's not how this works.
I tried to
Steven! Jen won't...
Some random context.
Jen won't be happy about that.
I was in a... No, it was an argument discussion. Basically, it was talking about the new Suicide Squad movie, and I think we're all aware of Jared Leto's shenanigans on set when he was...
I thought those were hilarious, by the way.
What, his, like...
wearing the coat and shit.
Yeah. And basically, how he like, would send, like, rats and condoms and stuff to, like, other actors and stuff like that, and, like, people were like, hey, that's crazy, but
I have
a
question about that after your point. Please continue.
Sure, and someone was saying that Viola Davis, one of the actresses in the movie, she's like, if she were to do something like that, she'd be reprimanded, she'd be labeled as a bitch and psychotic. I'm like, and I was just like, but that hasn't happened. Like, I see what you're saying. Like you think that she'd be treated unfairly as a woman.
You think that would happen,
but I said, I was just like, but no one has done that, and they don't have the credentials that Jared, like, if she had won, an Oscar or whatever Jared Leto's won in his past, and he's known for, his method acting. It's like, if was in that same situation and did the same thing, you don't know how it would react. So until you know, you can't say that she can't do it. And she's like, she can't do it. That's the issue. She can't do it because people call her a bitch. I'm like, but no one's done it yet.
If she was a female Jared Leto and had everything, all his accolades,
exact same thing.
Like
accolades. Yes, thank you. All his accolades.
It's not the same thing. Yeah, until then, it's not the same thing, and that comparison is invalidated. It's it's not unsound. It's invalidated.
Yeah, and I even said that. I was like, I get your point, but here's where you.
It's a neat hypothetical. It's a neat hypothetical. Mm-hmm. But like, man, how many times have I recognized that my hypotheticals are just that? I did just the other day with fucking Dakota in Rocket League, where I was just like, technically, if we spent decades studying the effects of like bad foods on our system and how that might affect our evolution, and how like consuming bad food now might actually help our evolution down the line, that might actually be better for us when we're living in fucking space where it's hard to make natural food. Right. And like it's a very cool philosophical and hypothetical, but I was just like, yeah, it's all hypothetical, and obviously there are diseases right now that are forming that we've never had because of all these artificials, and it's just like, and it even happened with another post on a forum where like this guy even agreed with me. He was just like, yeah, the one Warframe move is kind of lackluster, but this and this and this and this and this, and I actually enjoyed it for the first book he posted, and I posted a book in response, and then another one where it's,
was it like twice as long? Where you like countered every sentence you had with another sentence, like you son of a bitch.
No, it was like at first it was kind of like it felt academic and it felt nice and it felt like peer to peer, and then it just felt like you're being insulting. I've clearly proven my time with the game and my understanding of the move I'm talking about and the Warframe I'm talking about, and you're just fucking being you're just like well, and the person was never like, clearly you don't understand, or like there was never any kind of statement even close to that, but like the way it just kept going, it's just like, well, this to this, and it's like, I really want to prove this to you, and it's just like,
I think that's where like I kind of like how like this bag of cats has kind of just turned into like the art of discussion.
I mean, as we've talked about before, that's kind of a problem in my life where it's like I have a hard time dealing with immaturity, and I have a hard time dealing with people in arguments because they just don't understand that. Like I clearly, like, I posted it on the wall. Like, this is why I don't feel the way you feel, and it's just like,
but you're still wrong, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it gets. That's the difference between an argument and a discussion. It's just like argument is just like no.
Well, no. That's actually a fundamental problem within our society. That's not what an argument is. An argument actually is a discussion. Except the discussion typically has less subjectivity. The argument has more. I believe I'm right on that, but don't quote me on that. Our arguments are more meant to be. They're not meant to be heated by definition. But but there is an easy connotation growing up within our society that like, oh, if you're having an argument, it's angry and like.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. But an argument is actually by nature just a discussion like we're having here, or like I have unfortunately had with some of the people on the forums, where it's just like you're trying to clarify points and come to conclusions about a particular divisive topic.
Aren't arguments somewhat scientific?
Here, I'll even
go look it up. I'm curious now.
Arguments.
I know I've used like the term argument in papers and
an exchange of diverging or opposite views, typically a heated or angry one. Now that's Google, who does typically incorporate more culture into their definitions. a reason or set of reasons given with the aim of persuading others that an action or idea is right or wrong. That is Google giving the then more base definition, the one that has been around for much longer.
Mm-hmm.
Arguments don't have to be heated, don't have to be angry.
Yeah.
But our society now defines them as heated or angry.
Just because everybody just wants to persuade other people the same way they want to. Yeah, that's it. That's 100% it. Like, everyone's a little competitive, but yeah, everybody just wants to win in their own little way.
And that's why I've kind of like really toned down on my PvP again, because I was enjoying it for a good while, and then it was just like cheating and using these like really shitty techniques where it's just like, we can't have a good match, you just want to win. Or like now you know, like we've seen this in Rocket League, but I've run into it in Warframe's variation, which is a bit more skilled than Rocket League, where guy comes in and rubber bands his fucking sticks together, and he runs in circles for the whole match just to get the points for the matches, so he can get the rewards for it. It's just like, people just want to gain with the least minimal input, and it's just like some of my best PvP matches ever I have lost, and I'm just like, that was fucking amazing. It
was epic.
Yeah, because it was good and even, and like they had that one player who was fucking killing it, not being a douche about it, and not using cheap tactics, and it's just like,
yeah, good times. I was gonna say something.
How is that good?
I don't know. I was thinking of something, but I totally forgot what it was.
And I do want to. This will be the closing point to this half of the topic, and then we'll
I gotta
talk
pee
about,
too.
Yeah, and I'd like to stand up and move around a bit, and then we'll record the final half of the main topic. And that's another side to this. Right. As someone who enjoys sports and someone who enjoys games, no matter what a game, whether it be sport, video, card, it should be made with the purpose of being even. If it is, and I know I had a conflict with a friend of mine about this recently, and if he ever wants to talk about it, we can sit down and talk about it. But I felt like I was told. I'm not going to go into the details about that. This is more about games in general, because it wasn't just that, but I do want to clarify that. It's PvP in general. Things are meant to be balanced. The reason that professional sports are professional is because they're balanced. The reason that people don't leave professional sports is because they're balanced. People leave games and don't play PvP matches all the way through because there are imbalances that occur, gross imbalances, and right now that's why I'm just like, I am kind of out of the PvP scene again. It happens in Rocket League.
No, it's like, to bring in like an actual like a sporting example. You know, like today's game, it was 0-0 for 6 innings that I was watching. That's fucking intense.
That's called a balanced match.
And it's called it's a pitcher's duel, and I think the end score was 3-1. You know, like Detroit lost. I'm sad, but you know, it was still fun to watch. You know, the pitcher pitched great, who's been terrible the first half of the season. You know, he's doing well. So like, you know, even if you get a loss, you still get something out of it. Now, I've also watched games where Detroit has both won by 11, 12, 13 points, and they've also lost by that amount of time. And when they win, of course, it's just like, yeah, we got this win. And in baseball, at least, I'm not sure. In a lot of sports, even football, you know, if you're up by a certain margin, there's certain things you don't do. You know, if you're up by 12 points and you're playing baseball, you're not going to steal second with no one on base, because like, it's not fucking necessary. In football, if you're up by 40-some points, you put in your third stringers in the third or fourth quarter, because it's not necessary to have your A game out there. It's just like a sign of respect.
I hate those football games, and as a viewer, as the consumer, I leave those games. I mean, I don't actually pay for a ticket and then leave. I turn off the TV or I go elsewhere.
But I mean,
I do something
I'll
else.
watch them, and even if my team's down, what's interesting to see is they'll take their loss. If Detroit is down like 17-5, in the 7th inning, or 13-5, whatever, the game's gotten out of hand. They're still out there having fun. You can see the batters and people, like the first baseman, third baseman, they're kind of like just bullshitting with the batters, and it's kind of nice to see that. So it's not like you're not getting your sore losers and stuff like that, but you're still getting something out of the game. Which, I
don't play the game. I've made that clear on this show and on 0 frames per second. But Overwatch, while we were away, got its ranked mode, and it's like reported to be one of the most balanced rank modes ever. Like its matchmaking is on point, and it's so even that matches that used to take 15 to 20 minutes to complete now take like an hour.
No shit.
and like a lot of people are turned off to ranked mode because of that. But I've been reading about that, and I'm just like,
that sounds good.
That sounds good. Like, I love
it gets
balance.
the adrenaline going. Like you want that competition, and
so even. Oh yeah.
What do I keep saying? It's like you can only get, it's from a movie, you only get smarter by playing a smarter opponent. And it's like, if you're in an even match and then you lose by a little bit, you're like, what did they do? I need to learn that to get a little bit better and get that edge. Experience.
So PvP.
And take that for your arguments too. If you're in a losing argument, just take what they did and be like, hey, they raised good points, they did their research, they did their reading, and apply it to yourself so next time you can be victorious.
I keep coming back to that guy with the inaccurate math, but fucking whatever. All right, we'll see you guys in the next half of the topic.